Good morning, guys. Today is the day. It's rolled around.
It's podcast show time.
It's podcast show time. We're in London and we're heading to the Business Design Centre. It's currently 9:39 in the morning. Just giving you like a time by time update. And yeah, we've got quite a busy day today, and we've got a busy day tomorrow, haven't we?
Yeah, we think today is going to be like a full-on busy day with talks and mingling and networking, and then tomorrow will be a little bit more chill, hopefully.
Yeah, we might even decide to bring our laptops in, depending on the vibes. We're sussing it out today.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot is going to happen this year because there's just so many more guests at the podcast show. So yeah, we just wanted to vlog the day, document what we're up to and who we speak to as well, because there's going to be some really good talks on.
Not me sussing out all the food spots for lunch. I'm literally like,
yeah, hunting where we should go for lunch as well. But yeah, join us for the day. We've got It's Your Life Pod and Staying Sweet reporting for duty. Hello, hello, hello. We've made it in. We're really excited. We've got our little press passes.
I know, managed to skip the queue.
Oh my god, look, what does yours say?
Mine says my little podcast on. I don't know why it's making me so emotional. It's so cute.
It is so like crazy. And then I've got mine and it's just Staying Sweet on it. So mad. Really, really surreal. But we're going to...
It's so much busier than last year
already.
already.
Oh my god, it's only like, it's not even 10 o'clock and it's heaving. So we're basically just going to work out what we want to do first. I kind of want to see potentially if Spotify have anything going on. They haven't got a main thing, which is quite interesting, but it should be quite cool. But we're going to like suss out what we're doing. I also really want to stick a sticker, guys, on that over there. Shall I go do it? Shall I put it on?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's cause some mischief.
Just do it. Just do it. He's a
guerrilla marketing.
Shameless plug.
True, like that's going to be in everyone's. You have great idea.
Yeah, just have
Guys, my like journalism head is blowing off, right? Blowing off, blowing up, blowing up.
Blowing off because we had a massive spicy.
Let's not talk about that. No, we're here, but there's so much going on. There's literally a Sky News reporter right now doing a live report in front of us, so it's amazing. Look, let me show you.
Something fun,
Yeah, there's so much going on. Like the space is insane. Make sure as well, make sure you check out Shaw. Toast.
If you had loads of followers, you would do well. And our TikTok convention was, you don't need any followers, all that matters is the first 10 people see it will decide whether there are 100 see it, then there are 100,000 and so on. So you kind of want to make sure that you have followers, to make sure you're not just getting followers who are tricked into following them, because then it takes from the ones that are submitted.
For example, now you have that, you know, your top 5 tips, keep the puppy quiet, like, do anything. It's all possible.
Visual. Welcome to the stage, everybody. Dr. Curran, Jessica Joseph, Leo Lindemans, and your chairperson for this session, Executive Vice President and Co-Head of Global Podcast at Sony Music Entertainment, Jez Nelson.
Everyone, wow, this is good. It's good to see you all here. I'm glad we've got you first thing at the podcast show, and you're not too jaded with sessions yet. I hope we can kind of live up to your expectations. So yeah, welcome to this session brought to you by Sony Music. My name is Jez Nelson, and I have the exciting job of building on Sony Music's decade-long legacy as a leader in audio entertainment to take us into podcasting. We're an artist-first business, and we're really proud that over the last year we've launched shows with big talent in the UK like Kathy Burke and Camoden Mayo, and in the US with Emily Ratajkowski and Jesse Tyler Ferguson. And I have to say, it's an amazing day today. This is literally this is the highlight of my career, because we make a podcast with Kathy Berg called Where There's a Will, There's a Wake. And what happens on that is that celebrities come on and talk about how they like.
Meaning that, what stays on TikTok, what happens on TikTok doesn't stay on TikTok. People discover those clips, they discover the content, and then they want more, and they go on streaming services to listen to the whole thing.
Can I just say, Jess, I mean, to add to Leo's point as well, when I was first, in negotiations with Sony, I was insistent on one thing, that it had to be video. There had to be a video component to it. So if you're a podcaster, you're part of a production team for a podcast, and you're not doing video, I think it's absolutely bonkers, because you're missing a trick. Imagine how many people watch video content in silence, on the toilet, on the train, public transport. You're watching it in silence, you're reading the captions, and I just think, humans are biologically hardwired to see faces, to pick up faces, and just interact with that and resonate with that.
Moderating today's panel on media buying, paid marketing strategies, and non-paid marketing strategies to grow your audience. So before I make introductions, I just want to do a little bit of an informal poll. How many of you know Nina? She is the Business Development Director for Castbox FM, one of the largest podcast distributors on the planet, all around the world. I think you're number 4 or 5 in the United States, number 2 or 3 or 4 here in Europe, is that right?
Hi everyone, yeah, that is correct. Castbox is the biggest independent podcast app.
And one of the few places where you can do both paid and non-paid acquisition strategies for audience members. To her left is Stefan Hoff. He is the CEO of Libsyn's Julep. Essentially, they're an advertising network and a hosting platform focusing on monetization and marketing here in Europe. Welcome, Stefan. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for having me. You're welcome. And then we have the very famous Chris Kremitzos, who is the founder and CEO of Podfest Global, one of the 3 large podcast conferences that happen every year.
Pilot I've ever sat across. It was amazing. Your chemistry, it was just so good. And how did you both find it?
Boring.
Okay.
Joking. Who else do you have on your books?
Oh, here we go.
No, not go there. Because
I shot myself
no competition. We would make everyone laugh, banter.
But it was just so easy. I got into your house. You made me a cup of tea, which I was quite surprised about.
I probably didn't make it right because I hate making tea. I'm like the nan from Catherine Tate.
Okay, has anyone got any questions?
At the back, only because you're the only one.
Hi Katie. Thank you. My name's Ben. I've been following your career since I've been born. You've been a public figure.
Oh, you make me feel well old.
I wanted to know, because I've read your columns, books, TV shows, YouTube. Why podcasts and why right now?
Because I've got a lot to say.
Yes.
And it's my way, my words, not edited. And I've got a lot to say.
Not against you. Not against you.
What was the question? Longevity. Oh, I have no idea what it is that I've done different. I think maybe because I'm honest. I don't lick anyone's ass to get anywhere. Don't sleep my way to the top. Don't turn up to every event just to be seen. And just stay humble. I don't know really. I don't know. If I knew the answer, I'd make lots of me. Actually, I don't know the answer to that.
You're an icon, Kate.
Oh, I'm not. Don't be
yeah, you are. Of course you are.
No, don't say embarrass me. Anyway, next one.
Hey guys, so we are currently on our lunch break. We've had a few talks on, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which have been really, really fun.
Bounced between a few, and now I think maybe the rest of the afternoon we'll go and have a chat with some people.
Yeah, really network away.
Or maybe even, I think we still do have a couple of chats we want to go to. So then tomorrow there's not really many, so maybe tomorrow we use more as like a chatting opportunity.
Yeah, that's a good idea. There's a few people that I've met as well that I really want to like arrange meetings with potentially.
Yes.
And there's a really cool thing on the app where you can like request to liaise with people, so you can like find a meeting spot, and it's all in app. It's great. It's for everyone that's sort of at the event and wants to network with each other. So yeah, really, really cool. But we're just sitting not inside, we're sitting outside because the weather is amazing. There's like a million police car sirens.
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Oh my gosh, hang on. What is that? That's what is that? Usually whenever I see motorbikes like police cars, I always see royals.
Really?
Yeah, every time. That's the first time I've not seen anyone. So I've actually seen quite a few royals.
Yeah.
Mental. Anyway, we're going to enjoy the sunshine and our lunch.
Yes.
We also got these really nice drinks from Pret.
Yeah, they're the new Pret coolers.
Yeah, I went for like an apple. It's like an Applito, like an apple mojito kind of vibe.
And I've gone for the feeling peachy. Really
Which
fruity.
you are today.
Yeah, true. I'm matching my drink.
Cheers, babes.
Cheers.
In this room today and tomorrow. It's lovely to be here. The podcast show's got so much going on, including this next session. So without further ado, can you give them a drum roll? Can you make some noise for your special guest? Hosting this session, it is Lizzie Pollard back again, VIP Marketing, Communications and Brand over at Acast. Give it up for her, please. Everyone, look at the swags, man. Oh my days. Shall we keep it real, ladies and gentlemen? Can you make some noise for your special guests?
I love that energy. We've got to keep that going.
I know, I was back there like, how old is she? 17 years old. I haven't had that energy for like 20 years. I was wearing heels earlier and then I got sad.
We were talking about our skincare routines on the way up here as well. Anyway, sorry, we're not here to talk about our skincare routines. Everybody, hi, I am Lizzie. I'm in charge of marketing, communications and brand at Acast. And I'm joined today by Catherine Ryan, comedian and host of Telling Everybody Everything, and Brittany, senior director of audio partnerships from BetterHelp. Woo! Woo! Oh, yeah. Before we... Did I see...
I wanted to do something that was totally self-authored, so I started doing it myself, editing it myself, publishing it myself, because I suffer from hyper-independence, which is a trauma response. And I didn't want anyone messing with me, and so it was a very authentic conversation with the people that I would have been out in the UK seeing on tour.
Okay. And Brittany, for those that don't know about BetterHelp, do you want to explain a bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Who's heard of BetterHelp in here? All right. Hey, that's awesome. So we are the largest online therapy provider in the world, and we have been the #1 spender in podcast advertising globally for about 2.5 years now. So we offer thousands of licensed therapists so that you can get therapy from the comfort of your own home or your car, whether it's video, phone, or chat. I eat all of that myself, and I love it that way. And then after it goes out, immediately I get reactions on social media, or my dad will ring me up and be like, well, my friend's saying this and that, and I'm like, oh, your friends are not allowed to listen to my very private podcast. So I have had a few reactions from either my daughter's school. You know, I'm very good at keeping it quite legally above the board, and I don't want to get myself or anyone in my family in trouble. The worst thing that's ever happened is there's a celebrity whom I really admire. Clue. She is one of my friends, but she was a much closer friend. And then I spoke about something on my podcast in an empowering way. I was like, she's so amazing, and I said, oh wait, was that on her private Instagram or her public Instagram? And then I went, no, it's her public Instagram. But then I think wires got crossed, and she heard that I was talking about her on the podcast, and now I'm blocked from the private Instagram. Oh. I really loved that content. But it was worth it. I like to be vulnerable.
And I know who this is, so if you pledge to sign up to Acast as a podcaster or advertiser afterwards, I will tell you once I've seen evidence that you signed up. No, I'm kidding.
A-list.
Probably the most beautiful woman in this country, that's all I'll say.
I'm right here. Like, come on, let's get serious again. Podcasting. So, you guys spend a massive amount in podcasting. You've seen incredible returns over the last few years. So, just for those, I'm sure there's some advertisers amongst us in the audience. What was your journey into podcasting? Was it something that you had to fight within the organisation to champion, or was everyone all over it from the start? Like, how did it come about that you became such a powerhouse, I guess?
So the Cliff Notes version is our former head of growth before BetterHelp brought me in to run podcast. He kind of dabbled in a lot of different channels, and quite frankly, he was running too many things. BetterHelp's a massive global advertiser in paid search, social, everything. He was running affiliates, online partnerships, and he kind of was like, what's this podcast thing? I hear there's, something there. And he very quickly learned through, last click attribution that podcast had a real pulse, and that there was, he didn't understand at the time the scalability, but BetterHelp, in my opinion, they were really smart and brought in an audio professional, me, into 2020 early, right? A lot of brands are kind of relying on agencies, which is also wonderful. We work with agencies. I think you need a lot of people helping you if you're planning on scaling podcasts. But the brands who are bringing in audio professionals, I also think there's something there, because when I got there, I told my boss to close his eyes and just let me roll, and he did. And we went from 25 million in a year to 45 million. We spent 65 million last year, and we'll spend a little bit more this year.
I'm sure you've been asked this question a ton, but why? Why has it been so successful? What have you seen and learned over the last few years that keeps you coming back to working with podcasters like Catherine?
So the channel in itself is just a D2C DR brand's dream. You're essentially marrying like the best type of advertising that exists, which is word of mouth or endorsement. They're kind of the same thing. You're marrying that with digital capabilities and on demand. So now you have people choosing their content, choosing people that they love to listen to their stories, and when that person tells you you should think about trying this product or service, people act more immediately, and not only do they act more immediately, but they tend to stay longer with your brand as well. They have a higher LTV. So it's just a dream channel. I'm sure all of you guys can, understand.
It's really important to you from the start to do that, or because you're a busy woman. Are you ever just like, I could just get someone in to run all this for me? But do you want to retain that control?
I think I'm busy, and I've been successful in my life because I'm competent, and a lot of people around me aren't. And I have dealt with, waiting for people to meet deadlines, or I struggle to delegate. I don't like other people doing things. And I find it very difficult to let go. Trauma response. So
Trauma response.
I loved doing it myself, and I felt that a lot of my projects before I started the podcast had too many hands in them, too many notes and too many thoughts, and I just thought the best way that I can connect with people, because I missed people. I like going on tours. Stand-up is very solitary. You're alone. You don't have music. You don't have actors. It's just you on stage with a microphone. Sometimes in a really dodgy venue, no microphone. Early in my career, sometimes they have air hockey tables in the venue. You just have to do stand-up anywhere, and it makes you very self-sufficient. And I have girlfriends all the time who go, I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm going to go down to the studio where they film it, and they record it, and they do this, and they do that. And I'm like, well, then that's a distilled version of you. Your authenticity is maybe not shining through, and you might not connect with people as well unless you're doing it. Like, I can stand by everything on the podcast says, I know what's on there. I know what I said. I know. I think, too, I've done a lot of television in the UK and comedy panel shows. Sometimes they'll cut off the end of your joke and the context might be lost or the nuance. I like the long form version of like beginning a thought and saying it all and knowing someone's not going to cut it out or make it sound different. I just love doing it myself. I like being alone. Women speak face to face a lot while men have to like golf or something and then like lean over and be like, my wife has kidney disease. There is together to share. And so
Laughing at kidney disease, guys, come on.
You're not, that's not what you're laughing at. It's kidney disease adjacent. It's not about kidney disease. But because I have had so many lives, I was a very impoverished, destitute single mother and an immigrant in this country, though arguably, like the right kind of immigrant who always got treated very well. I have those types of experiences, and then I had bad relationships that I was able to grow from, and then I learned how to stop making toxic choices, and now I'm like living my dream, and I have a current husband and 2 small babies with him, and I'm in that life again, so I have all these points of reference, and I feel like it would be selfish for me to keep all the lessons that I've learned to myself, because when I was really young and things were going badly for me and I was sad, I fixed it, and that a lot of that is from therapy. And so for people who can't access it, it would just be a friendly thing to do to tell them my experience. So lots of people write me for those reasons. They go, how can I do what you've done? And I've done it all.
No, but also one thing that I think you do, which I only just realised, which is questions as well, as in people will write in and say, can you tell that woman who wrote in last week about X that she should try doing Y? And you're not giving official advice because, as you say, you're not a trained therapist, but we are all products of our own human experience, and people have lived through stuff that you are going through. So actually talking to people, whether it's a therapist or whether it's just, someone who's...
Well, we've created a community now so that if I'm not an expert in something or I don't have an experience, I go, oh, if anyone knows about eating disorders, will you write it? And then experts do write in, but also I point listeners to BetterHelp because I do think genuinely, and I do adverts on television. I've got a really cool one in the cinemas right now. But
is that the Now TV one?
Yes.
I love it.
That's my real life dog.
Someone I know saw it and was like, is she like that in real life? And I was like, well, obviously not.
And when they pitch that to me, they're like, you walk in and you're being yourself, a terrible bitch. But I only align myself, and I will say this like very proudly, with brands and companies whom I really believe in.
Hey guys, so we've reconvened. We're about to go to a Space MK and Laneige event, which we're really looking forward to. It's been a long day at the podcast show. We picked up a new guest.
Hi!
Introduce yourself.
I'm Sophie. I'm a freelance influencer project manager. If any of you need work, hit me up.
I'll pop all her details in the description, and you can check her out. But yeah, we're just gonna enjoy our evening. It's really like glorious out in London tonight, isn't it?
It's about time.
It's about time, weather-wise.
It's about time.
So yeah, we're just gonna head in.
Tonight's bridge.
Check out the products with the Laneige. Sorry, I can't even talk. I'm that tired.
My skin needs it after today.
We do. But it's gonna be great. So we'll take you along. Let's go. Good morning. Hello. We are fast approaching the Business Design Centre. It's day 2 of the podcast show. I'm really excited.
We're feeling energised.
Oh, we're feeling
ready to go.
so excited and ready to go.
At the end of yesterday, I was like, I can't talk to anyone anymore.
I know.
Not even because I didn't want to, but just because my words weren't working.
Yeah, we've been muddling words for ages, like yesterday, so we were like, right, let's reconvene, let's get our shit together, and let's smash day 2. But there's some really good talks on today, and we just want to network. We've got friends coming today as well, so we're going to catch up with them, and we'll show you them on the vlog as well. But yeah, day 2, let's go. Okay guys, so we've got stickers out here, getting that name out there. We've got Charlotte editing, creating content, and we've got the queen of social media, influencer, and brand strategy. She's working hard. And it is so busy here, guys. Like, look how many people are here right now. It's amazing.
Of Chalk and Blade, which is a podcast production company based here in the UK. Shout out. Good, we like that. So, you know, Helen brought over 20 years of experience in her role here, where she worked on, you know, building and expanding companies, so knows a thing or two about what's a good deal and what's not. and so we'll get into that. Staying on this side of the pond, Tim Hammond here is the Executive Director at audio and podcast agency Listen, also here in the UK. I'm gonna wait for a shout out here. Don't be shy, there we go. So similarly to Helen, Tim also brought decades of experience from film and TV and managing rights there, so also has a thing or two to say here. Now going over to the other side of the pond, we have Carrie Brody here, who's Head of Business Development at Pushkin. Woo! There we go, we have people. It was the audio company founded by Malcolm Gladwell and Jacob Weisberg. Carrie there spearheads business development and deals with and oversees and has the ideas for all kinds of co-partnerships, co-productions, film to TV derivatives, and so we'll get really into what's a good deal there too. And Ray Chow, who is leads the podcast business at Vox Media as the SVP and General Manager of audio and digital video there.
A week, like, you know, the actual master recordings of those episodes, like, I don't think there's not a long tail of value for that content. So I think I always challenge people to think about, what are you doing, what's your partner doing, and what's fair.
And what can your partner do, right? If you're digging your heels in because you want to control the IP, because you want to be involved when this turns into a film TV derivative, like, who between the two of you has the most connections to actually go and get this made as a film TV derivative, and how are you going to be attached? And you can get to where you want to get without being the one who owns it necessarily. And I know you think, Perry, a lot about this and film, TV, and being able to, have deals structured in a way where everybody's incentivized to go and do this properly.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, like, I agree to all of this, which is to say, like, what is the partnership and who is doing what, I think dictates a lot of that. I mean, the way that Pushkin is set up currently is that we have a first look deal with A24, so they are in on things very early with us. We look at things together. I mean, I think, obviously there are situations to your point about whose idea it was, and if you're hiring a host who's a host, if you're hiring someone who's a host and creator, a host, creator, producer, I do think every deal, like, as much as you start out and you think you're sort of on a linear path, every deal is a bit different.
Dr. Alex George from Stuntcast. Come on, guys, where are you all And Marine Bay from The Secret Life of Teachers. Enjoy, guys.
Excellent. So welcome to using podcasting as a vehicle. Now, if you've got the headphones on, does that mean you can hear us better? Oh, wonderful. So there's headphones on everybody's seat. So just all you behind you. Yes,
yeah, we don't.
So if you just take them out, you'll be able to hear just us and not all that ambient noise. So it's much better if you're wearing them. So here we are. We are going to be talking about using podcasting as a vehicle. So let me first introduce my guests. Harriet Wave is an award-winning comedian, writer, and mental health advocate, host of Make Me Happy. I think it's Make Me Better, isn't it? Yeah, it's not.
It's gone too far now to say that it's wrong.
Okay, yeah. I looked for Make Me Happy because that's what I was told it was. It wasn't. I listened to it. It's very good. It was called Make Me Better. Harriet has bipolar disorder and does advocacy work around mental health. She's also the creator of the monthly mental health comedy night Barking Tales. So Harriet's very, very funny. Alex is a TV doctor, but that doesn't mean he's like Doogie Howser. No, he's also a real doctor. He's just a real doctor on television. He's a best-selling author, and he's a youth mental health ambassador to the government, and he's host of Stopcast, a new ambient podcast that means that there are other sounds, it's not just in a studio, which promotes the importance of walking in nature for mental and physical well-being. So basically, you go for a walk with Alex and his guest. I think some of the birds tweeting have been put on though as extra, just to make it sound a bit
We
more.
really just sat in like a studio with pretend we actually got a green screen behind us, like a camera.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's all AI.
Anything in your life, understanding what your purpose is. And if you're going to make a podcast, it's got to have a purpose. And it's clear that what you just said with yours, you knew why you wanted to sit down and make this and to create it. It was purpose-led. I think those things that are purpose-led are much more likely to be successful. A, because you probably care about that purpose of what you're doing. And secondly, if you believe there's a purpose to it, it's probably going to provide a role or do something positive for someone else. So the reason that we record an hour-long episode but cut it in 20-minute chunks is because people usually can actually only concentrate for about 20 minutes, which makes a lot of sense, but also it's because it's achievable and attainable. A lot of fitness is like get outside and go to the gym, do CrossFit for an hour and all this stuff. Actually, if you go out and walk 2 or 3 times a week, your mental health will be better, your cardiovascular health will be better, you'll be more connected with the world being in nature, and you'll probably be a better person to be around. So that's why I made the Stompcast, and that's why we're very passionate about it. We love recording it, and that's why we're going to continue as long as we can.
So go for a walk with Alex. You don't just listen to that podcast while you're doing the washing up or you're in the bath. It's your excuse to go for a walk with Alex. Now, Harriet, your show, which is how to make, which is make me better, not make me happy, make me better, where you amusingly open it by sometimes saying, we're drinking things to find something that makes us a little bit less insane. And I am intrigued by this because I just yesterday, or the day before, came back from an ayahuasca retreat up in the mountains. And so I'm feeling so much more sane and so much more insane in equal measure, which is what will happen if you drink ayahuasca for a week.
That's a story of its own. I feel like
I'll tell you in the green room, because this is not my space, but I just want to prove to Harriet I am drinking things in the hope of becoming more sane and better and weller. What was the inspiration for you starting this show?
Well, I started doing a podcast ages ago because I was really mentally ill and I was on an emergency waiting list for counselling for 8 years. And then so I was like, oh, just talk to myself then. So I just had this podcast where I ended up just sort of talking to myself and counselling myself. And then doing comedy. It's very like antisocial hours, always driving by yourself. And then having arguments with yourself and stuff. And then I've got a dear friend who's also a comedian, and we'd always like voice note and be like, she'd be like, oh God, I'm having a right, I'm having a mare. And then she'd tell me stuff that she'd try, and then cause she's really into the Wim Hof and the breathing and stuff, and then I tried it and I projectile vomited on myself.